everyone, welcome back to Stepping Stones at Home story time. This week we're going to be reading a story called Just As You Are. Okay, let's read it, shall we? Where are you off to, Donkey? Asked Squirrel. I'm just having a plod around, replied Donkey, with a flick of his long, fluffy ears. I'm going to talk with the God of all things. Squirrel gasped. The God of all things? Really? Just as you are? Aren't you a bit scruffy, Donkey? Oh, said Donkey. He hadn't thought about that. Donkeys were strong and hairy, and they worked hard. As far as he knew, they always looked scruffy. Here, wear this, suggested Squirrel. She pulled a bedsheet off the washing line and spread it over Donkey's back. It covered his sticking out fur. Much better, announced Squirrel cheerily. Off you go. Donkey set off down the lane. Soon he saw Cat sunbathing. Hey, slow down. Where are you going, Donkey? Asked Cat. Just for a little walk, Donkey grinned. I'm going to talk with the God of all things. The God of all things? Excellent. Cat looked impressed. But are you going just as you are? What about your ears? They're kind of funny and fuzzy. Maybe you could wear a hat or something. Donkey wasn't sure. He was already wearing a bedsheet and that was very itchy. Here, try this bucket, said Cat helpfully. It will cover up your ears nicely. Donkey put the bucket on his head. It didn't fit very well, but he could just about see out. Perfect, said Cat. See you soon.
He looks like Cleo, doesn't he?
She does look like Cleo. Donkey carried on until he nearly stepped on Mouse. Hey, squeaked Mouse. Watch where you're going. Sorry, cried Donkey, jumping back. The bucket fell over my eyes. I'm going to talk with the God of all things, he explained. What? Huffed Mouse. Just as you are? His forehead wrinkled. Are you sure you've been good enough? You just nearly squashed a mouse, and yesterday you ate the farmer's flowers. Oh dear, sighed Donkey sadly. They just look so yummy. I didn't know they belonged to anyone. He felt terrible. Maybe Mouse was right. He tried not to cry. Goodbye, Mouse, he sniffed. Sadly, Donkey wandered towards the river. How could he possibly talk to the God of all things now? He leaned on the fence and scratched his chin. Suddenly, crack! The fence tipped over. Donkey's legs waved in the air as he tumbled right down the bank and into the river. Splash! The sheet floated off and the slimy green weeds tangled in his tail. The bucket rolled after him, filling up with water and some very surprised fish. Donkey struggled over the slippery stones until finally he got back on his feet. He flopped onto the bank. He looked terrible. Oh, God of all things, he whispered, how can I talk to you now? I'm scruffy and soaked and sad and muddy and naughty. I even have funny shaped ears and green stuff in my tail. He sat in silence for a moment. Then he realised he had just talked to the God of all things. It felt good. And somehow he felt certain that the God of all things was listening. So he carried on all afternoon, some of the time talking and some of the time just sitting happily with the God of all things. When the sun started to set, Donkey gathered up the bucket and the bedsheet and went home. Back at the farm, the other animals were sitting together on the wall. Squirrel's mouth dropped open. "Whatever happened to you?" she cried. "You look scruffier than ever." "Yes, I do," agreed Donkey. "I am quite scruffy and hairy. I've got huge ears and sometimes I make mistakes. But the God of all things made me just as I am," he said simply, "and loves me just as I am." He grinned at Mouse, Squirrel and Cat. "And," he said, "He loves you too, just as you are." We really hope you enjoyed that story, Just As You Are, this month. We're going to say goodbye now. Should we say goodbye, Ellie?
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And remember that God loves you just as you are. Bye for now. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.